Thank you for being here today. We're going to talk about your book. What is your name, your book title, and its genre?
Okay. My name is Fenton Kay, more often known as Fenton. Title of my book is The Man in the Gray Duster. It was originally The Gray Man, but I discovered there were way too many books for that same title, so I changed it to The Man in the Gray Duster, which turns out is a better title anyway. The genre is mystery, kind of a witch mystery. The protagonist is a witch.
That's really different. I like that, a witch mystery. And in one or two sentences, how would you summarize your book?
Basically, a boy and girl come back from a trip to Morocco where girl was taking care of a project for the government following the Moroccan earthquakes. They get to the El Paso airport and they're accused, the boy is accused of stealing a document from Marrakesh's, from Marrakesh. He goes back to Marrakesh, she stays in Las Cruces, takes care of a situation with a house that apparently has a ghost in it. As with all good mysteries, everything works out in the end and everybody lives happily ever after, more or less anyway.
I like that. And if you could choose what takeaway readers had from your writing, what would you hope it would be?
For this is a tough question, but for this book, I kind of deliberately push diversity in our community, and with the idea that diversity in the world is an important thing. So the book includes Morocco, people in Morocco. It includes a homosexual woman and her girlfriend, fiance actually, a Moroccan guy in Las Cruces who's a Muslim, my witch, of course. Well, there's also, the telepathic cat. We don't want to forget the telepathic cat. That's an important part of the thing. So I'm kind of pushing diversity in there. That's one of my bags, just as a personal thing, and I think it's important. And I don't think it's something in the book that jumps out and says bang, 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 hits you in the head with it, but it's there.
Yeah, I like that. So it kind of represents different cultures.
Yeah, it talks about cultures and kind of different viewpoints on the world.
And with that, what do you think readers will like most about your writing?
Well, I hope what they like most about the writing is that it's relatively casual. It is kind of open. I hope that they will like the cat and the witch, the interaction between them. That's kind of, again, one of the central things I kind of work for in there is my telepathic cat familiar and her witch, Carol Montgomery, who's also a PhD structural engineer, which is an interesting combination in and of itself. The interaction between them, the back and forth, and then the fact that the cat get involved in solving whatever the mysteries are they're dealing with, and it's all fairly light. It's not quite in the category of a cozy mystery, but close.
Okay. How would you describe the process for writing The Man in the Gray Duster?
As with most of my books, it was sort of a start and a stop thing. At the beginning, I kind of started developing the idea in my mind. I'm not a great note taker. I scribble a few notes here and there, but I have this thing of I do almost all of it in my noggin. But I had to get kind of sort out where we were going, how we're going to get there, what's this mean, what's that mean, blah 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 on that. So it started stuff. But once I got it rolling and got the theme in mind and had a direction firmly in mind, it went fairly smoothly. And I think the last half of the book, I don't remember how many days it took, but it was not a real long write in that case. But it took a while to get into it, just because, like I say, I've got a lot of stuff going on in it, and so it took some coordinating in my brain to get it all together.
Yeah, so once you got going, it just kind of took itself.
Yeah, once I had in mind where I was going, I went.
And what inspired you to write this?
My daughter and her two daughters, my granddaughters, live in a house where they swear there was a ghost they called the Gray Man. Okay. I'm not a particular believer in ghosts, but I'm willing to accept that there are things in the world that I don't understand, even though I'm a scientist by training. And you know that I had in my mind for quite a while that would make a really interesting story. You know, their house, which is in the historic district, a ghost, which is pretty characteristic of Las Cruces old houses, and so on. And then I got the idea also that I would like Carol, my PhD engineer, to get involved with, because she's a specialist in Adobe. I would like her to get involved in the impacts of the earthquake in Morocco, which awful lot of the old buildings that were severely damaged were adobe and rock or stone. And so I had thought about writing that as a separate story, but I couldn't quite make that work into a full story, and I couldn't really get the Gray Man to work into a full story. So I, puttered them around in my mind and thought about it, and as I said, I puttered here and puttered there, and finally came to the conclusion that I could work them into one story, kind of two disparate sides of the story, and that's where it went.
Nice. I guess you kind of already talked about this, but what was the most difficult part of writing The Man in the Gray Duster?
Just getting it going, getting it lined out, and getting a firm grasp on where the story was going, and then once you get that going, then like a lot of authors said, the story kind of writes itself. The characters form in your mind, and the story takes it, gets on its own legs, and you're just sort of watching it go and typing it, what I type. I've enjoyed writing the book. It's the fourth book in the Carol Montgomery series. I've got another series of mysteries that have 5 books in it, which have been fun writing. I've got a couple kids' books out. I've got Borderlands has agreed to look at another one of my kids' books. So, yeah, I think that if people see this, if they want, they might just take a look at all of my books, because like most series, if you read one, you want to read the rest of them. Yeah. If you're my wife, you got to read them from one to whatever the end is.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you.